Hello and welcome to Eye on Africa. I'm Clarisse Fortuné. First, the headlines. South Africa takes Israel before the International Court of Justice, arguing its response to Hamas' October 7th attack is a breach of the UN Genocide Convention. Finally, a reprieve as the Congo River starts receding after reaching its highest level in more than 60 years. Flooding throughout the DRC and Congo Republic killed over 300 people over the past months. Then we'll go to Benin to attend the festivities at the traditional Vodun festival in Ouidah. Israel's plan to destroy Gaza comes from the highest level of state. Those were the claims made by South African lawyers as they presented the case accusing Israel of genocide at the International Court of Justice. Two separate protests took place in response throughout The Hague, one pro-Israeli demonstration, the other in support of Palestinian rights outside the ICJ. Let's hear from some of them as they aired their grievances.
Today, there are absurd accusations against Israel that it's committing genocide, while Hamas is committing crimes against humanity every day that my brother and the rest of the hostages are there. And no one is talking about it. And I'm here to raise the voice of my brother and the rest of the hostages.
I'm here today in support for Palestine and that they finally get the justice served, that there is a genocide happening and that the UN should act accordingly and the world should act accordingly.
So how strong is Africa's argument in front of the United Nations highest court? Eunice Masson explains.
Over 23,000 people have been killed in Gaza in the past 4 months, according to Palestinian health officials. But it's not the numbers the South African Legal Council focused on in its case, where it accuses Israel of genocide in Gaza, but its intent to kill. The application brought today before the International Court of Justice included video material and media statements made by state officials of Israel, which showed, or according to South Africa, proves that there is a clear intent of killing and displacing and injuring the people of Gaza. Now, the court application can take several years to prove a crime such as genocide. But South Africa is seeking provisional measures while its case is examined. A legal law expert in South Africa explains that at this point, South Africa doesn't have to prove that genocide is taking place.
What South Africa is asking for is that the International Court of Justice indicate that Israel must immediately suspend its attack on Gaza, not because it's been proven that they have committed genocide, but because if it is later proven that Israel has been committing genocide, to continue with its attack at the current time would be essentially to further the crime of genocide, right? So there's going to be no finding at this point that Israel has committed genocide. It's just for interim relief pending the ultimate hearing on the merits.
South Africa requested 9 provisional measures. The court can soon rule on these provisional measures, but even if the court orders a halt to the war, it is not a guarantee that Israel will comply with the UN body's decision.
Burundi is closing all its borders with Rwanda. This decision comes nearly 2 weeks after accusing its neighbor of supporting rebels who carried out attacks on its soil. Burundi says the Red Tabara group staged an attack on December 22nd near the border with the Democratic Republic of Congo, killing 20 people. President Evariste Ndayishimiye has since accused Rwanda of backing the rebels, a claim denied by the Rwandan government. And Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi will go on a 4-country Africa tour, starting with Egypt and Tunisia. Wang's trip, which will also include Togo and Côte d'Ivoire, will take place from January 13 to 18. It continues a 34-year tradition of Chinese foreign ministers traveling to Africa on their first trip of a new year. Somalia's government and the UN have begun operations to rescue the passengers of a helicopter captured by Al-Shabaab on Wednesday. The United Nations have since temporarily suspended all its flights in the area. More details have now emerged about what happened as Olivia Bizot tells the story.
The details of what exactly happened are still very foggy. So let's start with what we know for sure. We know that a UN-owned helicopter had to make an emergency landing in a central region of Somalia because of a technical glitch. Now, that region is under the control of the Al-Qaeda-affiliated terror group Al-Shabaab. It's believed that 6 of the helicopter's passengers have now been captured by the terror group. 2 of them have gone missing, and 1 of them was killed, it's believed, during the emergency landing. Now, the UN has said that none of the passengers were members of its staff. They were all third-party contractors. And the organization has also said that they're not yet aware of the nationalities of any of those who were on board. The UN and the Somali government have now launched emergency rescue operations, but those missions are not going to be easy. The region is incredibly difficult to access, as it's been under the control of Al-Shabaab for more than 10 years now. So who are Al-Shabaab? Well, they're an insurgency group that's been trying to topple the UN-backed Somali government for years. They want to put in place an Islamic state. They have fighters all over Somalia, but they're mostly concentrated in the central and southern parts of the country. The group also has a history of seizing foreign hostages, and some of them they've kept in captivity for years.
The water of the Congo River is finally receding after reaching record levels. More than 300 people have died in recent months to torrential rains and flooding in DR Congo and in the neighboring Congo Republic. Shirley Sidburn reports.
This week, the Congo River hit a 60-year record, reaching 6.2 meters above sea level. Most Kinshasa residents were not born when the river hit an even higher level in 1961.
We have lived here since our childhood, and this is the first time we're seeing such a situation. We had to use canoes to move around. We can't leave. We have nowhere else to go.
Stranded residents have to find alternative solutions for transportation. Luckily for them, people like Jean-Pierre offer their neighbors assistance with makeshift boats.
We help people move around, and this allows them to get some food, especially those who are stranded in their homes. We bring them to this main roads.
Blocked at home, residents regret that authorities had not anticipated such flooding.
I'm an activist, and I'm not surprised to see water levels rise. What does surprise me, though, is that measures are not being taken for all those families who are just suffering the effects of climate change in the form of heavy flooding.
You get the impression that people are left to their own devices, building wherever they want, however they want. There's no urbanization, there's nothing being done. There are no gutters planned, and even if there are gutters, they're not maintained.
Experts have called for improved urbanization plans and funds to protect communities as natural disasters become more common with global warming.
Benin continues to promote its culture. The traditional Vodun festival is held every January 10th since 1992 in the historic city of Ouidah. In a bid to promote tourism, authorities aim to turn Voodoo into an economic asset for the country by breaking stereotypes. Emmanuel Soji and Raphael Ntale attended the festivities.
At the beginning of January, the city of Ouidah hosts yearly Vodun festivities. This year, the exclusive rituals and dances performed on sacred grounds will be open to the public. Dignitaries and followers return to their roots by showcasing Vodun as more than just a religion, but also a culture and visual art form.
We want to contribute to the development of the world and for Africa to reclaim its rightful place.
It's great for me to discover things that are part of my identity, my culture. I have lost a lot of time. Sometimes it feels like we are searching for things that we already have within us.
Through this new concept, called Vodun Days, the festival opens up to exhibit more than Vodun culture. For several days, many forms of Afro-culture are represented in Ouidah's city center and the historic door of no return, with the aim of boosting tourism.
We do not have large quantities of oil or gold, but we're smart. We're lucky to have this intangible wealth, which is our voodoo tradition. Today, what we are trying to do is restore its prestige.
Famous international artists such as Yemi Alade, Tabu Kombo, and Kofi Olomide have been brought in to perform in front of 35,000 attendees. Among them, a significant number of Afro-descendant tourists.
I'm surprised by how big it is this year. Yesterday there was a concert and there was no space left at all in Ouidah. Benin can be proud and I hope it continues to grow.
While opening up to the world, Benin strives to maintain its uniqueness and the spirituality at the heart of Vodun Days. The grand traditional ceremony showcases the diversity of Vodun deities and their interconnections.
And that's the end of this edition. Thank you for watching Eye on Africa. More news coming up with Mark Owen.